You know the type, right? The super productive early bird who seems to get more done before 8 a.m. than most of us do all day. It's this ideal we see everywhere. But is it really just about having more willpower? Or is there something deeper going on, something actually happening in our biology? Well, let's dive in and find out. So before we get into all the science and psychology, just take a second and think about it for yourself. Which one are you? Are you that early bird or are you a total night owl? Because knowing your natural tendency is the first and maybe most important step. Yeah, it feels like we've all been handed these two neat little labels. The early bird is the productive, energetic go-getter. The night owl? They're the creative type who maybe struggles a bit in the morning but really hits their stride late at night. But these are just stereotypes, right? In this explainer, we're going to look past all that and get to the real science and psychology that's driving our daily rhythms. Okay, let's start with the absolute foundation of all of this, your body's internal clock. And I'm not talking about the alarm on your phone for a second. I mean the biological clock that's ticking away inside you right now. The key term you need to know here is circadian rhythm. This is basically your body's natural, internal 24-hour operating system. It's the master process that controls your sleep-wake cycle, and it influences everything from your energy levels to your alertness. And here's the kicker. We all have slightly different genetic versions of this clock. They're called chronotypes, which is exactly why some of us are just naturally wired to be morning people, and others not so much. So what does this rhythm actually look like on an average day? Well, it's pretty amazing. Around 6 a.m., your body starts releasing cortisol. That's your natural get-up-and-go signal. Your peak alertness usually hits around mid-morning, say 10 a.m. And that classic afternoon slump you feel around 3 p.m., yep, that's totally real and part of the cycle. Then, as the evening rolls in, your brain starts producing melatonin, which is the hormone that says, hey, it's time to start winding down. It's a beautifully tuned biological dance that happens every single day. And this right here is so crucial to understand. Being an early bird or a night owl is not a moral issue. It's not a sign of discipline or a lack of it. It is deeply, fundamentally rooted in your personal biology. The real secret to feeling your best isn't trying to fight your own nature, but to finally understand it and learn how to work with it. Okay, so we've covered the biology, but that's really only half the story. What about the psychology? What's actually going on in the mind of someone who genuinely seems to thrive in the morning? Well, studies show that morning people often share some pretty interesting psychological traits. They tend to be more proactive and goal-oriented. They really like to plan their day around their energy peaks. They also really value routine and consistency, which, by the way, helps keep that internal clock we just talked about perfectly tuned. And often, they make their own well-being a priority and tend to have a more positive outlook. So you see, it's a whole mindset that reinforces the habit. This quote just perfectly sums up that whole mindset. The goal isn't just to wake up early. It's to start the day with purpose and intention. That little shift in perspective is everything. It changes the focus from a number on a clock to the quality of the time you're creating for yourself. That's a real game changer. Okay, so with all that science and psychology in our back pocket, we get to the big question. Can a night owl actually become a morning person? Is it possible to make the switch? Let's get into some practical strategies that can actually help. Trying to shift your schedule doesn't have to be this miserable shock to your system. Here's a simple 4-step approach. First, you absolutely need a powerful why. What's your motivation? Second, you have to shift gradually. Seriously, trying to go from waking up at 9 a.m. to 6 a.m. overnight is a recipe for disaster. Just adjust your schedule by 15 minutes every few days. Third, create a wind-down routine that signals to your body and brain that it's time for sleep. And finally, and this might be the most important one, design a morning that you actually look forward to. This can't be about punishment, it has to be about purpose. You know, when you really get down to it, this whole conversation is about so much more than what time your alarm clock goes off. The real goal is to align your unique internal rhythm with the kind of life you actually want to live. Whether you're a natural-born early bird or a committed night owl, the ultimate goal is the same for everyone, to understand and harness the incredible power of your own daily rhythm. Because when you stop fighting against your biology and start working with it, that's when you can unlock massive improvements in your well-being, your productivity, and just your overall success. So I'll just leave you with this final question to think about. If you truly started your day with intention, fully aligned with your own energy and your own purpose, what do you think you could accomplish?